Hello, hello, hello. It's Kevin here. Time for a video. So, as you know, we've been doing the Cambridge series of previous papers. We've done 17, 16, and now we're on to 15. So we've done the essays and we're doing the academic task ones. Now, this is test number 3. This is a process. We're going to be looking at the manufacture of noodles, instant noodles. So first things first, let me get my usual fair use disclaimer caper, blah blah blah, teaching, so no moaning please. This is what we're going to be looking at. This is from Cambridge 15, test number 3. Okay, so you can see the diagram below shows how instant noodles are manufactured. Select, report, main features, etc., etc. Now, one of the problems that people have with this kind of a process is there's not a lot of things to write about. It's pretty straightforward, and I know that a few of you, and we'll take a look at some of the samples in a moment, only write about 150 words or maybe a little bit less. But there's a way that you can beef things up, and I'll show you by padding out or making your sentences more complete and full. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So let's have a look at the one that I wrote at first. Where is it? Okay. This one's 167 words. Okay, so we're using that 4 paragraphs as a structure. But of course, you could join those first 2 because sentence 1 is not a paragraph really, is it? But still, the picture illustrates the various stages involved in the manufacture of noodles. Now, the overview, and as you know, we must have one. Man-made process, 4 main stages, raw ingredients, noodles, the cooking, and the packaging. And that's basically it. So that's one way that you can extend it. So the process begins in storage silos where the flour is kept. Flour is loaded onto a delivery lorry and transported to a mixer where water and oil are added. This mixture is rolled out into dough sheets, sent along the production line to the next stage, which is cut into strips. Following this, strips are turned into noodles, subsequently cooked in oil and dried. And finally, after manufacturing and cooking, the noodles are put into cups along with vegetables and spices, where they progress to the final stage of the production line. In this last step, the noodle cups are sealed and labelled, ready to be sent to their ultimate destination. Okay, so we've got a mixture of sentences here. That's a relatively short one. Complex one, we've got 2 clauses. We've got 1 clause, we've got 2 clauses here. Complex, yeah, so we need a mixture of sentences, all right, and because it's mainly passive, well, it's mainly entirely passive, right, so we need to be using lots of passive, which can be divided, is kept, is loaded, is rolled, are turned, are subsequently cooked, etc. And we're using transitional words, so the process begins, the flour is loaded, are added, this mixture is rolled out, the next stage following this, what else do I use? Subsequently, after manufacturing and cooking, are put, they progress in this last step, so that's 167 words, because I couldn't really pad this out anymore. There's not that much information there. Okay, so I'll just leave that there. All right, and then let's have a peep at yours. When I say yours, I've got 5 here from IELTS 9 Pro, my group on Telegram. If you are new here, if you haven't seen this before, I've got a group on Telegram called IELTS 9 Pro. And I post a topic, invite people to write a response, and I usually take the first 5 and comment on them here in a video. So if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link to the group in the box. And if you're watching on Apparat or on Telegram, you already know how it works. Okay, so changes on. Now, if there's a lot to change, I might not type out every single word because I don't have time. What I may do is simply type one or two things and say what you need to change. So this diagram illustrates. First, 159 words. All right. This diagram illustrates production. Well, should it be the production of instant noodles? 8 steps. I would make that into a word. In quick noodles. Well, it's not quick. It's instant, which is not really the same thing. Quick noodles producing production process. Which starts? Shouldn't it be starts? Storing flour in big silos. Culminating. Okay, that's a good word. Labeling and sealing the cups of noodles. So we've got some grammar here and some vocab. At the beginning, a significant amount of flour. Well, it doesn't really say anything about the amount that I can see. It's just some storage and flour. We can surmise, perhaps, about the amount, but it doesn't say anything. Water, oil, and flour combined by a large mixture to make a good dough for rollers. At the next stage, dough sheets. The dough sheets which are made by rollers move towards a cutting machine. That are stripped to dough strips. What? That cuts the dough into strips. Following this, noodle discs are made by tangled dough strips. So we can see we've got a lot of vocab here. Connectors are missing, articles, etc. In the next phase, circular noodles are soaked in hot oil to be cooked. Okay, that one's good. Later, the noodles are packed. Now, how can you have an undesigned cup? You mean unlabeled cup? Packed in undesigned cups into which some seasonings and vegetables are added during the process. So that needs to be word order change. At the end of the process, the noodle cups are closed and sealed while we move forward for labeling and designing simultaneously. I'm not sure if you've got the correct usage of designing. So we've got some grammar here, got some vocab. Not too bad, but still, there's a few things that we could change here. Okay. Diagram, if it's a stranger, not sure what it turns out. Well, it doesn't stand out really, does it? It just kind of shows us there's no standout surprising feature, is there? Is that this system, well, it's not highly dependent, it's exclusively dependent. So how can we say this? How can we say it's highly? It's a process, it's a man-made production, so obviously it's going to be dependent on a machinery. So it's kind of stating the obvious. We don't really need this. Process begins, collect the flour, switch silos, which is worth mentioning. Why is it worth mentioning? Why is that? It's like, okay. So there's a few things here that we don't need. I don't know if it's because they were trying to boost the word count, but worth mentioning. Why is it worth mentioning? Why should that be a standout? Why should we have to notice this? Main piece of equipment, relatively large mixer, but the two substances has to make dough. The mixture should be turned. Should be or is? Should means it would be good if you do so, but you don't have to. So is turned into dough sheets. Once they are changed to dough stripes, they should be. Again, what's this modal verb? They should be? You mean they are? Ooh. They should be delivered to the next stage, superlative. It's ordinal. Yeah, to the next stage via a conveyor belt to transform. Right, so they're not going to transform themselves, are they? We need passive to be transformed into preposition, noodle discs. Okay. Again, what's this? They should be cooked. Are they going to be cooked? Are they not going to be cooked? Let me see the cups. Appears. Well, appears. So is it the final stage or is it not? Because appears means that it looks like, or I think it probably is the final stage. Okay. The given diagram depicts a process in which noodles, well, instant noodles are produced. 8 stages of the process. Heavily depends. Well, it's entirely dependent. It's not heavily. There's no manual action in this at all, really, is there? So we don't really need this. Being input house, okay, to begin the process initiates when flour, by means of a special truck. Well, it's not a special truck, is it? It's just a truck. It's a lorry. Once the flour is mixed with oil, noodle dough is pushed towards a number of the balance of the dough into dough sheets. Following this, by using special equipment, well, okay, into strips which are gathered on the circular noodles. Oh, okay. Next, the noodles cooked in. Well, it isn't by, is it? It's in oil and then left to dry. The noodles, don't forget your articles. The noodles are seasoned, so it's relatively placed into cups. Preposition. Let me see my final stage of this process. Okay, so that's not bad, but that's just a bare 150 words. It's a little bit sparse. It's not too bad. You could certainly flesh this out a little bit. Okay, what have we got next? So given diagram shows a process of how noodles can be produced. What's all this should and can? It's are. This is how it works. It's not we should, maybe, if we really want to, or it can, or maybe it couldn't. It is. That's how they are produced. Into silo storage. Well, it's taking it out of the storage into the lorry, presumably. Well, into silo storage. Can silos have a possessive? To labelling and sealing the cups of noodles and dispatching the noodles to supermarkets. Well, it could be to supermarkets, but it could be anywhere. Loaded lorries, which flour is loaded into lorries, which take it to the storage silos. Next, the flour is mixed with a combination of oil and water to become powder. Well, it's not powder, is it? Isn't it dough? Following this, a mixture of flour and oil is rolled to make dough sheets with roller machines. Okay. Once the dough sheets have been changed into strips, well, not changed, I mean kind of cut into strips, adjusted into discs. Can you transfer? They're not transfer. They can be turned into, I suppose, or made, but they're not transferred. In this stage, noodles are cooked with or cooked in oil. When these ones are dried, these dried noodles dished together with some spices are put into cups. Cups are labelled and sealed. The noodles are ready to be dispatched, passive, but not dispatching themselves, to stores. Okay, 149 words. Again, this one here, a little bit sparse. I mean, mine's only 167, but still, if you get used to padding your sentences out, you know, at the first stage and so, and then during this process and following this, you know, by padding your sentences out a little bit, you can get it over 150 words. Okay. The given picture demonstrates the process in which instant noodles are produced. Overall, this process has 8 stages. When the process which is commencing or which commences, with transfer of flour to the silos, that flour are storaged, but flour is stored there, flour is stored there, and ending by labelling and sealing. Okay. The flour, flour is usually uncountable now. Flour is character mixing machine, which involve a mixture. What will be added after that stage has been finished, the mixture is rolled over to make dough sheets. Prepared for the next stage, in which the sheets are cut into strips, or will be cut into strips. Dough strips are modified. Alright, to noodle this before transferring for cooking with oil and dry stage. For cooking with oil and then drying. So cooking, drying. Get your parallel structure. Or hang on. Right, cooking and for cooking with oil and drying, parallel structure. Okay. After that stage has been completed, passive, oops. Okay. Dry noodles or the dry noodles are put into cups and a mixture of vegetables and spices are added. In the final stage, or at the final stage, noodles are labelled and sealed. Okay, 135 words. So you can see that's the problem with almost all of these. It's a little bit short, and you need to get used to writing complete sentences. You can, right, it's not kind of padding you, but you are filling out your sentences a little bit. If you can do that, using it as markers for next stages and following this and subsequently, the next step in the process involves all those kind of phrases will add words into the count, and they're not entirely superfluous. They do have a purpose. So I would take a look at mine. Once again, you've got 135, 140, what's that? 150, 165 is good. 159. So this is what we've got to get used to for this. We've got to get used to padding, extending the sentences. Okay, I hope that helps. So I'm going to post the next task, CAM 15 test number 4. I'll post that, and hopefully I'll be making a commentary video on that sometime next week. So the link for the group and my italki profile you'll find at the bottom. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye for now.